Getting on here today on a Tuesday. I wake up and, I always like to see, what's going on. I left my phone on for the last couple of days because I usually turn it off like I told you all at night because there's no sense in having it on. I don't talk to that many people, and, thank God nobody's all up my ass all the time. That's going to be one of the things I talk about, rant on about today, is cell phones to start with, because it's most prevalent on my mind. Now, I got done talking to my brother out there in Oregon, out there in Grants Pass or something like that, and it got me to thinking, about home and Colorado and everything. And all the damn Californians that have infected are not only Colorado but other states, or even here too, folks. They're like cancer. They're like cancer. And there's only one cure for that kind of cancer. Can't say that on the computer. The Clint Eastwood style cure, I think, is the only way to go with it. How about that? Hang them high. Woo-hoo. So, yeah, I can't believe what I see here in this small town. I'm all for hands free stuff with the phone if you're driving. And like your mom calls, dad, sister, brother, somebody you know. That's fine. As long as, get on, get off. I have people here, and I'm sure it happens everywhere else. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I live in, again, Moron Central, Central Michigan, Central Moron State. Anyway, hands free, great. But the deal is, I've noticed here from my, detailed observations of the monkeys that live here, that you all have this deal where you're staring at your phone in front of you while you're sitting at a light, or you got the hands-free thing going on and you're looking over here because I can see him looking over there. The light changes and you guys are so fucking slow to get moving. Or you come down, you're talking on the phone while you're driving, which is illegal against the law here. It's a $500 ticket if they enforce it. It'd stop. Anyway, I do believe they have one out in Colorado too. But anyway, just driving down a street at 35 miles an hour, folks, that's not that hard. Yes, it requires just as much attention to the road and everything as you would at 100 miles an hour. It should be the same. It should be. Nope, you're all talking on the phone while you're driving. I mean, next to electric carts and retail, the plague of the planet. I mean, for the crying out loud. Here's my little friendly, humorous rant. Do you miss your mommy and daddy and whoever, sisters, brothers, friends so much you can't be without them for more than, 30 to 40 minutes while you're driving? You can't wait until you get to where you're going before you pull that phone out to see who called you? I mean, I know it's convenience, but damn, monkeys, what the hell? If you're guilty of that out there, Llama Peach, maybe you might want to do a little bit of thinking. Okay, because I've seen some memes that come across here, and they're true. You see a car that's literally cleaved in half after it hit one of those steel guardrails because they weren't paying attention. They were on a cell phone. Like that one, they said they found her top half with her hand still with the cell phone in it in the trunk. The other half of her was still sitting behind the driver's seat, or what was left of it. Think about that shit for a second. Now dumb that down to 30 miles, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Well, if they're supposed to be going 45, they're doing 30 to 20. Okay, I mean, really, folks? Really? Again, you really got to talk to somebody that much? I remember when it was like, gee, I didn't know if anybody called until I got home. And I'd be lucky if my mom took the call. That was before answering machines. Good God, people. Fucking wake up. What would you do? What are you going to do? It's not a matter of if or will it happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen when they shut your cell phones off to get you to comply. You will. They're going to see who complies right there. It's going to be that, and your money is a key factor of who's going to comply and who's not. And those of us that I barely use the damn cell phone. Really, I only use it because of convenience, like it's supposed to be used for. And, gee, if somebody does want to get a hold of me, I'll check it sooner or later, or I'll hear it go off if I'm here at the house. And I'll go mosey over and check it out. Just like I did if it was sitting on the wall, plugged into the wall. It would be no different. I mean, really, people, you can't go without talking to, anybody, your kids, anybody. You can't go without that for more than fucking 10 minutes. Who cares what they're doing? Who gives a shit? You should be doing your own thing, old folks like me. I mean, come on. Come on. Is it really that important to be in touch with somebody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? We have two generations now. That's all they do. And those are the ones I'm probably bitching about that are out on the road doing this. I mean, really? You gotta be doing something 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? What would these people, here's the another humorous twist to it. What the fuck would they be doing if they didn't have cell phones? How many of these 2 or 3 generations now that I'm bitching about currently right now that are morons, even raised by morons that are purebred morons, um, what would they be like had they not gone through indoctrination and had technology literally in front of them since they were infants? And I see that in the store, and it's just disgusting. Anyway, and you people that do that with your children, no. No, it irradiates radiation. Think about that for a second. Anyway, your choice. What would the world be like right now? Well, I can tell you this: Big Brother, the NWO, and the WEF would be probably pretty much stomped out of existence because they wouldn't have a compliant little global army that will do anything at their behest. Oh, it's Ukraine. Oh, it's Palestine. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, what's the next fucking emergency we're going to have? And as long as that cell phone or this computer tells you that, oh my God, it's got to be real. I like the Matrix thing because how do you know what's real? I mean, quantum physics addresses the Matrix in reality, for real. There's that scene in Animal House, and those of you that don't know about cool movies, that's a cult classic. Those of us that are in the know, go watch Animal House. It's funny as hell. It's got John Belushi in it, and it's about college craziness going on. But you got Frank, or whatever his name is. You got Donald Sutherland in the room as a professor, and these 2 kids and the super geek in there with him. So they start smoking pot and pulling the blinds down and everything. It's pretty fucking wild, You got to see it. You got to see it. It's one of the most famous quips. It's up there with other ones. Quips out of a movie. This guy kids smoking weed for the first time, right? And they're all in the bathroom because they're hiding out, and it's the 50s. He goes, so one tiny atom in my fingernail could be one tiny universe. And it's Donald Sutherland's like, yeah. The guy looks over and goes, can I buy some pot from you? I really honestly believe the way things are right now, it's all a fucking show. And I heard something, this whack job out. Yeah, maybe he's right. Some of the whack jobs throughout history have been proven to be geniuses. Say that, hey, don't worry about dying. You're just gonna come back again. You talking about reincarnation, kind of like, or do you know something the rest of us don't know? But yeah, a whole all these generations that are idiots now Imagine that if they would have gone through our school, didn't have computers, had to do their homework, had to physically write it out on paper and do the work, go through those index cards, those Dewey Decimal System cards in your library that most of you now don't know how to read. You notice that when you go into a library? Those are gone. I think they're in the back or something. They still have them as a matter of reference. Because when I was at UNC, they had some. I do believe it was on the main floor. Up, no, it was upstairs. They had a few racks of those. I started pawing through them, and I actually found what I was looking for. And these kids were fucking spellbound. I was going through. They're like, "Hey, we could look this up for you," and I'm like, "Well, I got a computer open over there, and my laptop's there. I don't need your help. Thank you. I'm looking for something that's not listed." And they're like, "Oh, we've tried that before. We didn't get very good results because you don't know the Dewey Decimal System." They don't teach that in school anymore? No. See what would happen if they actually had to do, I know I'm sounding super old right now, if they had to do the actual work. Now, going to UNC, I heavily relied on a computer. I admit it. It makes things a lot easier writing essays, doing research papers, looking up research material, finding crap on there to laugh at. That's great. That's what most people are on the internet for, social media blogs like this one, like Facebook. Oh, sorry, Meta. Oh, by the way, get your little fact checkers off my page, Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, get your fact checkers off my page. You don't like it? Then don't let it on in the beginning. It's floating around out here. If you can't stop it, then shut up. As long as it's not threatening and damaging to you or anybody else along the same lines as the law, then you should be good. You shouldn't be fact checking anybody. Fact checkers are losers, and you know that. But anyway, we had, you know, these last few generations had to do actual work, and they didn't have the internet. Oh, let's say if I've always wondered if what would happen if we would have froze technology right after Atari came out. Think about that for a second. What if everything would have froze right there? We still had phones on the wall, party lines. The most best we had on Messenger was we had the little recording boxes, and Atari. Maybe Mattel, the football game and hockey game and shit, little red dots. What if everything would have stopped right there? What would things be like right now? I think that we would be on the moon. I think that we would be on Mars because, we'd actually get some shit done. Right now, you notice that? Nobody gives a shit about going to Mars or anything except for Elon. Hey, Elon, how you doing? Um, he's the only one who's got the vision that, well, we got to get to the Luna, and then we got to get to Mars. And he said he wants to die on Mars. I think that's cool. Well, yeah, I might want to join you if I was alive. By the time you get there, I'll probably be dead. I'd like to go there as the oldest member of the crew. That'd be something fun to do. But anyway, to digress back to the point, cell phones. People, I'm serious. I mean, I don't think society will. I think this is how they're going to incite the riots. They're going to incite people to riot and come out into the street and have a shit fit because then they can put out whatever propaganda they want after they shut it off. And all of you that are dependent on that thing, on this thing right here, you're dependent on this thing, you're going to go, okay, oh my God. And then they're going to bring, like I've said, I know some of you probably went aghast and went, oh, can't believe you said that. When they bring around the buses or whatever and say, get on, we're going to take you to a safe place. This isn't safe. Why isn't it, Hang on a second. And we're going to spear you off. And they don't question it. You won't question it because it's on your phone, it's on your computer. And you went along with COVID, so you'll probably go along with that, right? If you went along with COVID and you pointed and fingers and named names, then you'll go do this the next time around because it's just built right into you. Then there's us, and the rest of us are going to keep going. So where is it at? Who's in charge? What is actually the emergency? Why did you shut the phones off? Number one. Number two, what's the emergency? Why? What's coming? What's happening? Well, I'll take my chances. I'm a free person. That's what they don't want to hear. Because you say, well, I'm staying. I'll take what's coming to me. At least I know what's coming. But I have a few. When that happens, again, it's not will they or could they. It's a matter of they will, and they are going to do that. They're going to shut your technology off to get your attention. And then you'll be compliant little monkeys, again, like you were before with COVID and other things. And then there you go. It makes me wonder sometimes how much of the population will fall for this next round of stupidity that's all made up hype, and you will do anything they say. How many of you out there on this page, I mean, are going to do it? How many? I said no that last time, and man, half of you, some of you on here, ditched me, and then you came back. And, I know it was just a matter of opinion, but, and how we looked at things, that's how cool the llama is. I'll let you back. I don't care. Yeah, well, sis. Oh, by the way, happy birthday. So I forgot about that. Happy birthday, princess. Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild to see how many people actually go and just, okay, we'll do what we're told. And then the rest of us, it'd be like, kind of like some apocalyptic bullshit, I think, I mean, like, well, what do we do now? The other half of the planet thinks it's the end of times, and the rest of us are going, well, the sun's still coming up, and I can still breathe. So, oh, you're welcome. It'll be kind of wild to see what happens. I'm just waiting. Yeah, cell phones. I just can't get over it, especially here in Mount Pleasant. They just drive around. And the old ladies do it too. The little old ladies, probably about 70, 80 years old, driving around with a fucking cell phone in front of their face. It just kicks my ass. I'm like, why? um, there's another thing. Another llama thought. I was reading Zacharias Sitchin's book, The 12th Planet. I have all his books. You can buy them on Amazon, by the way. Really cheap paperbacks. And the 12th Planet one, I recommend. This is how I'm opening up this rant. So, little rumble through history, thoughts, and llama things. You know what happens when you get gummies going and coffee. So, you should read The 12th Planet again. And if you're really awake and open-minded, you will read that book and go, "Wow." Now, I'm not saying yeah, it's really weird. They'll talk to each other sitting at the table like that. They won't even interface, talk. Yeah. I mean, seriously, you got a point. I've watched that happen before. They'll actually talk to each other on the fucking phone while they're sitting at the table in a restaurant. Or they're talking to some other idiot. They can't put the phone down and have a conversation. That's too raw for them, I guess. But anyway, Zachariah Stitchin's book, The 12th Planet. Read it if you have a chance. If you're a reader, get out there and read. I encourage everybody to read. Try to read. Try to eat healthy. All those good things that. um, so my thought was, I was sitting here doing my thing like I'm doing now, gummies and coffee, and pondering the complexities of the universe and what could be and what might have been. And I'm thinking, hey, the Kuiper Belt, the asteroid belt that is between us and Mars, basically. Um, it's in complete orbit around the sun, just like all the rest of us little planets here go around, us and our brothers and sister planets. So I'll give them multiple genders. So shut up out there. Uh, we'll go genderless planets. I don't know. The Kuiper Belt. Now, in regards to the book, um, Zachariah Stitchin worked for 25, 30 years deciphering a lot of the Sumerian clay tablets that were found in Nagamati and some other places. And some people, some professionals say he didn't have the translations quite right. But for purely for just find out for yourself shit, read the book. And it's pretty accurate because I double checked on a lot of his stuff while I'm reading because I read the 12th Planet while I was in college. So I had a huge database. I still do. Huge database sitting there. So I'd be on the school's mainframe computer typing in his shit going, hey, what about this? And it'd be like, boing, there it is. So his writings are meticulously backed up by facts. So his speculation was that in the translations, Sumerian text, that there was this other planet, a 12th planet, where the Kuiper would set where the Kuiper belt is, or it's on an estranged orbit. So I'm going to go with the fact that it sat right where the Kuiper belt was. And it was referred to in the ancient text, if he's got it right, is Nibiru. Interesting thought. Well, the other orbit for this planet would be its kind of space is weird. Remember, there's no up, down, sideways, or nothing in space, and most people can't grasp that. When you're in a spacecraft, you have no gravity. Well, really, nothing's up and nothing's down. That's why you see, like in the series The Expanse, some of the space stations they don't have gravity. They're actually They're also to save space. They have a walking space above and walking space below. So there's really no space. Everything's, But the orbit, instead of going around the sun, is almost like elliptical. And from what they assume, now I'll use that language. What they assume that could possibly be it's like a 20,000 year orbit, that's a hell of a long time. Just remember, it could be. There could be some weird ass planet that orbits. They have other systems that they have put on, found by the different instruments, Hubble and whatnot, or whatever, Cassini, whatever, with planets that had that orbit. So it's not uncommon. Let's put it that way. We're just finding out that, wow, that could actually happen. So, but there's no evidence for that. So my rant and kind of humorous thing is, hey, morons, usually when you have an asteroid field going in an orbit all around a star, there was a planet there. And it got destroyed by whatever. I'm going to leave that at that because I have more to add on to this llama rant today. It's an ancient aliens llama rant. Or it's a stoner llama rant about space. It usually denotes there was a planet there. Something was there because something's holding that in an orbital path because they might not just be sitting there. They actually do rotate. So what was there is my question. Could that be the remnants of Nibiru? This is where it's going to get, I hope you got your gummies on or you had your J for the day or something. What happens if all this Anunnaki business and alien business was real and they had some fucking war like is in the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad and all that? I mean, there was this war between factions. Then let's say one of them was a badass enough to go over and destroy a whole fucking planet that they were on. What if? I mean, hey, that's a Star Wars movie in the making right there, thought. I mean, you can't get it any better than that. You can't. I mean, what if those great little fuckers that everybody says runs the planet, jokingly, well, we run the planet. What if they're the ones that won and they ran off our creators, used us for cattle, and they blew up their planet? And now we're nothing but food for lizards and gray things, and science experiments for gray things, food for lizard people, and we are just totally screwed, and our supposed human overlords are gonna farm us out like fucking Wally World on display at a meat market. You know, I mean, seriously, what the fuck is this shit? I it makes me wonder. There's so much evidence to say there's so much chicanery going on, so many lies. How can, again, to recap my introduction, how can you be sure that shit's real? It sure seems pretty fucking fake to me. Everywhere I look, I hate to seem like a total ass cynic, you know, but my fuck, the way you people act. I mean, I'm just waiting to get up one of these days, and I'm going to go into town over here, and I'm going to notice there's no cars. It was kind of like that this morning at 9 in the morning. I was like, it was dead. Main Street, which is Mission Street, the main drag through town, was fucking dead. And it made me start to think, what happened? Because that's how it'll be. You'll be like, I got left here, didn't I? With all you other assholes. I guess we better get together and reform a society structure, some kind of civility. uh, yeah. 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 Puppet man in a meat suit. Yeah. Um, no, I really begin to wonder, you know, it's just stupid shit like that. I mean, it could have been a planet there, probably was at some point in long lost eons ago, but um, I just think it's funny. I really do. There's just so much stupid shit going on right now. All this shit going on in DC and crap with Orange Man Bad and all that shit just fucking kicks my ass how bad they just want to stop this. Everybody's being an asshole. I just can't wait. You know, again, you know, I hope people flip the fuck out when they turn the fucking cell phones off. I can't wait. Maybe the little fucking, if there are fucking aliens, maybe they'll come out of their meat suits finally and just show up like in that movie They Live. You want to see another good movie about kind of what's going on right now? It's called They Live with Roddy Piper. He used to be a old-fashioned wrestler there, WWE or whatever the hell it was. And that other dude, you gotta see that. And the chick with the trippy eyes, the redhead, trippy eyes, actress. I can't remember her name. Um, yeah, that basically shows you that yeah, it's a matter of perception. They block your perception. You don't know what's going on. Your brain is being stimulated to ignore, and your vision to ignore certain things, and they could be right in front of you, and you wouldn't know it, type deal. Or they could be sitting next to you. Yeah, that is. They could be sitting next to you and you wouldn't know it. Or we can't see them because they're just out of our visual range because we only see at a certain frequency. Everything's about frequency. That's exciting stuff on a more serious Llama note. The research into frequency and harmonics and harmonic frequencies and all that to levitate objects, they're actually getting to the point where they think they can mimic what the ancient Egyptians were talking about or may have had because you know science refuses to look at the evidence there in stone and say yeah there's something going on here we didn't understand and you know they didn't build this. No way are we going to put that many blocks of stone weighing up to 10 tons, 5 to 10 tons blocks a piece at that rate and build the pyramid in 25 years. No, it was more like let's push this block of stone over, get it in place. So lots of exciting stuff. I think. I think that before we get to a golden age, we see this in other civilizations. This is another part of my rant to go with this. We see in archaeological evidence that we are finding every day that is being released to us because a lot of stuff is being hid from the public, and that's a fact, Jack. We know the Smithsonian, we know the Vatican, we know a couple other really old agencies, if you want to put it that way, or organizations, are hiding very, very precious information and evidence that would prove that things were a lot different. So, I I just really have a hard time believing that things are going to go the way they're going to go because I just believe that when they turn the phones off, you're all going to lose your minds. But no, I think that in the end, things will be okay. I guess it's just going to be us crazies left because the rest of everybody's just going to lose their fucking minds. So yeah, I don't think that society in general is going to survive. I don't. And the people that are pushing this new world order shit, I know they're very smart people and they've had this on cue for a long time, and maybe the aliens are involved with that too, right? Um, I don't think that they got all the variables. They can't. They have to be under the guise that you know sometimes shit happens. But where I was going with my other conversation was, um, it seems like in the history of man that every so often we see in the archaeological records that I was going to mention, I got sidetracked there, of civilizations that had running water, that had sewage systems, even electricity, and they know that there's free electricity, and then, our governments around the world don't want you to know that. There's free electricity you can make right out of your own freaking front yard. But they don't want you to know that. But all these things show that, and there's one civilization, it's not just one, there's several civilizations that we have found that were high technology, pipes and stuff, way, way before there should have been anything. But here we are, and it's surfacing now. Uh, every so often, all of a sudden the population shrinks. Now with genetics, we have seen, in the advent of that technology, we have seen something that backs this up. I've learned this stuff, and this is why I was an anthropology major. Minor, actually. Um, we have seen with the advent of DNA technologies that every so often there's a bottleneck in the human population. This last time was a bad one. They damn near wiped us out. They're saying 1,000 to 2,000 people left on the whole damn planet. And I mean in different pockets all over the world. So there wasn't that much left. So that's why, I say sometimes I see the same faces everywhere. Because technically there are. And then you start to think about the stupid Matrix thing again. Beep! You're like, what? What's going on here? I see the same shit all over the place. I don't know about that. That whole theory, I guess you want to put it that way, or hypothesis, we could be in a simulation or some kind of, I don't know, microcell kind of thing, micro universe type thing, and we just don't know it. I don't know. I mean, it seems plausible if we're going to consider the Matrix. So we have to consider that in that analogy. That's anything's possible. But then you get into the multi-dimensional bullshit. Our dimension we see now, string theory, bubble theory, blah blah blah, and then quantum physics. Does it all really exist at all? And we're just some replay of events. So it kind of makes me wonder if we keep bottlenecking, they keep trying. Maybe there is some kind of grand scheme of things going on that we're not aware of. Well, most of you aren't aware of. That every so often they do cut our numbers back. I mean, they got it right out in front of us in Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. They're saying it out loud at the WEF, at the NWO. We got Bill Gates is a depopulation pusher. Look at it. He's out in the open saying it, and people that praise that motherfucker are sitting there going, "Yay! Yes, Bill Gates, you're God." God of what? He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know shit. He didn't even invent he's not the internet guy. He just invested in it. I mean, it just kicks my ass. uh, with what could be going on right now. But Is that what they're trying to do though? Seriously? Seriously, motherfuckers? Are you trying to kill us because it's in our food? And I mean, people. I work in a produce department in a retail box store. Okay, and ever since I started seeing all this stuff come across the computer, okay, I fact check a lot of stuff myself. Sometimes I think Facebook is only fact checking because it hurts them and their friends. And we know this for sure. But, some of the stuff that actually kills people and gives them cancer that's in their food, they're not checking that shit. uh, but I just can't believe the similarities here that here we go again. We're at a top of a civilization where we are able to impact things ourselves, the weather, everything else. And here comes the Depop. Here comes the king of Depop and his friends, Klaus Schwab and all the rest of them, and they mill us down to nothing again. And then there are overlords. The people that here's the twist to this whole thing. The Jedi, kind of in the mix. Like, no, I don't think so. um, the people that didn't take the vax, because this is going to be centered around the vax too. I have a feeling, it's just my opinion, that the vax is going to be some kind of control mechanism, and that people are talking smack about that right now. So I'll use that. I think it's funny. Oh yeah, so you're all going to become instant zombies, just like that. 5G, 5G. See how this conspiracy stuff just fucking fun as shit, and then it turns out to be true. Is the really sad part for all of you. I mean, some of it. We got a pretty good track record so far. But yeah, what if they're going to do that? They've been doing it before. They're going to do it again. And who's to say the little gray fuckers or Anunnaki, whatever the fuck which one you want to believe is in charge, maybe they're all of them, are actually doing this. They actually do this. This is their little lab, as my sister kind of aforementioned, that we're kind of some fucking exciting experiment under glass. And we're kind of like, South Park made fun of this. We're kind of like a TV show for the galaxy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we're that entertaining because, man, we got a lot of stupid mofos on this planet. Really stupid mofos. And those are the ones that think they're in charge. Because they're the ones that, structure all this. They got to be just as dumb as a box of rocks. And they hate people like us. Because we sit there and go, dude, you can't do that. Not to somebody else. They have inalienable rights endowed to them by God, our creator. Because we are what we are. And he made us. Get over yourselves and go. If you want to rule somebody, anybody that wants to follow you, go down, out to somewhere in the desert and start your own little commune, have fun. If you want to live in desolation, yeah, go live in the Middle East. I'm sure the Arabs are more than happy to have more people come over there and live in some mega city, 15-minute city that stretches for, thousands of miles. If you all want that kind of thing, go ahead. The rest of us are going to continue on doing what we're doing. I think over half of the society is not going to budge because we've gone far enough. Yeah, we do need to be doing things, but the deal is we got governments and those in charge of everything. They don't want that. They want to remain in control. They don't see the bigger picture of we need to get off planet. Yeah, we need to reduce our population, but we need to get off planet. And we need to have better, I hate to sound, socialistic about it, but we need to have better planning, family planning, and family being the key word. So, but yeah, I mean, it's Depop thing. I have a feeling we are at that point right now, folks, is what I'm saying. And the motherfuckers that are in charge are going to definitely go ahead and do this. And they've done this before, is what I'm saying, as a mind nugget. And these are the same motherfuckers that turned a planet to dust. Or That planet, those are the motherfuckers that are coming back right now, and we're seeing evidence of it. And they're saying, "Well, time's up. Where's our slaves?" Oh, okay. You old fuckers, you're stuck here on Earth. Okay. I had no problem with that. If it was kind of no nukes or anything, we're just going to leave your asses here, like, just fantasized in the rapture. Sorry, you Christians, but that's just almost sci-fi shit there for me. I mean, ooh, wake up in the morning and she's gone. Oh God! I don't know. We're at the peak, and I mean they're already talking about it out in the open. I mean that's all I can say is draw your own conclusions from that, because I mean facts are facts. We have people that are absolutely in charge of everything, and this is what they want. And to them, we're just cannon fodder. They don't give a shit. And I mean, here's the sad part. On one side of this little thing, calling them that, I actually see their point. I mean, there are too many of us, and we're going to overpopulate the damn planet. But at the other side of this is, why would you let us get this far and then mow us over like we're cattle? That's the scary scenario. The other one is, no, we're just hapless assholes, and we cannot get by that next jump. You know how I talk about thinking and making the critical and analytical skills thinking, and then being able to sit there and add a little salt and pepper to it and go, well, that's bullshit. you know, um, People they just don't get it. They just don't. I mean, I just believe that they're gonna take whoever, and if this was a ancient aliens type of thing, they're gonna take those people and haul ass. The rest of us are left to die, because we have most of these sites that are various ages in the archaeological record. To jump back to that, some of them we don't even know what happened to the populations. They're gone. There's cities in China, in cutting into mountains, that they knew people were there well into the modern, what we would call modern age, and all of a sudden they're gone because they were going to send researchers. Well, China, the Chinese military was going to send people there. Then when they got there, the city was deserted, gone. They still don't know where these people were. I mean, how in the hell do you take a whole city and just poof? It makes you wonder what the hell happened in some of these places. That and but who's to say that obviously people survived if there was some cataclysm sometime at some time. So, but all these bottlenecks, it's like there's enough of the population around the world to survive, and then we start all over again, and we're rubbing sticks and pushing, rocks with sticks and going, ugh, me want woman, me want weed. But we're not far from that now. See what I'm saying? It's just kind of fucking stupid. I think I think it could be any time. I'm just waiting for them again. Like I said in opening on this video, that they when they shut the technology off, and that'll be, and put out the warnings. They're gonna try a pandemic again, a real one. This next one is actually going to kill people. Okay, because now we become desensitized to it, and what I'm sitting here making fun of. I'm not going to go for this. Well, if I see people dropping dead, but we start getting some actual facts back from, like, I want to hear from the local sheriff if that stuff starts happening. That's where I'm going to refer my focused attention to, but I'm not going to believe everything they say either. They say, oh, we're having a pandemic, people dropping dead, whatever, zombies, blah. I go, well, what else do you got? And then it's find the local militia or crazy church people. There you go. Since we don't got no Mormons around here. Just joking there, LDS. Yeah, so it could happen. I don't know. I just don't know. Some of us are wired differently, so we're probably going to be the ones to watch you all go crazy. And it'll be a field day because I'm not getting involved in that one. That's where you just kind of kick back and go, well, I guess I got the meek of the earth thing going on here because I'm not going anywhere. And who's to say that this raptor thing isn't a harvesting thing? Because that's what rapture, that the whole story about the rapture gets me. It's like, from a science fiction perspective, just pure fact. Doesn't that sound like, come with us? You are with us. You, okay. Something doesn't sound right in the rapture. We're going to leave Earth to all the assholes, is what it's saying. Okay, and then, again, a loop back into my conversation. I go to drive down to the bank like I did this morning and go, hey, there's no assholes in my way driving over here. where, where are all the assholes? And their stupid cell phones. There you go. There's your llama laugh. I mean, it could end tomorrow, and then we get to see who's who. We'll get to see who's who. And remember, this stupid thing here isn't going to work either. The internet's going to go down. They are going to tell you. They're going to tell you what you have to do. But it's up to you to go find out if it's real or not. If you believe everything they say, which you have this last couple times, you people have believed every fucking thing. Are you going to go for this one? And they're betting you will, because there's going to be real death this next time around if they do something that graphic. It's going to be real death, but it's only going to affect the motherfuckers that got the you know what. And I feel sorry for you. I hope you survive. It doesn't mutate you out into ghouls or something like on Fallout. Turn you into, golems or whatever you want to call it. Those things there on Lord of the Rings. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. We'll see. It's a matter of when they're going to do it, because the tide's turning on them and it's going against them. So let's see if they're willing to do what they've done in the past few millennia. It just roll over and wait out time, because that's what they have on their side, is time. If these are real beings they aren't human, let's put it that way, non-terrestrial, they might have long lifespans. So we've already toyed with that in science fiction, that certain species could have extremely long lifespans, if not be technically immortal. So these things could hang around for a long, long time. And I would refer that fact to the Sumerian Kings list, which is engraved in stone. Some of those rulers ruled for over 30,000 years. So explain that to me, and that is accurate. They actually put that in stone. So, you tell me. You tell me. If there is, God help us if I'm correct, and those of us assholes that are left, remember, don't be an asshole. CYA, be prepared, but, because there's going to be the assholes that lose their shit and think they're God, and they're going to take everything for, God, guns, and guts. Crazy motherfucking rednecks can be wandering around and shit. And then you're going to have these cocksucking inner city boys, people that are just prone to super fucking violence, come out and try to establish little enclaves. See what happens? Society breaks down right there and goes back to tribalism. Chiefdoms, tribalism, right there. Boom! That's how far we are away. We are not that civilized. It's just so sad. That's the end result. The rest of us are just going to hang out and go, well, I guess I'm on my own. Where's the weed store? Because there's nobody there anymore. I'm going to go over there. And then I gotta go to the grocery store or find someplace that has booze, coffee, maybe a bread maker. Shit. Yeah, that's probably my outtake on the end of the world. Hopefully, there's no zombies and none of that crap. The only zombies are going to be the ones that refuse to do anything for themselves, that just cannot cope. And I have a feeling, if this scenario is even close to being anywhat solvent, that these rich elites this time have thought that, with only 500 million or so, whoever's left, are going to be, the working class, the subservient class to them. If they've thought about most of the people, that if it's about about the what and the what, and and all that's left are the ones that didn't, and there's a lot of people like me. We said no. They got to be shaking in their boots, because they're like, oh no, the wrong people went for this. We thought we could scare the rest of the old boomers and Gen Z into doing this, and everybody went, no. Gen Z and the end of the boomers said no, which is me, 64, 65. No, we're not going to do it. Now you're stuck with us, you rich assholes, and we're going to hunt you down. We're going to tar and feather your ass and hang you out and light you on fire like a fucking Christmas ornament. Woo! It'll be roasty time. Mad Max scenario, right? Yeah. Not to be too graphic about it, but at least the tar and feathers. Yeah. Public humiliation. Yeah, just let them sit there. They used to do that shit all the time. They sit there until they die. They just starve to death. Or they get stoned or something. Not stoned, but stoned. All right, folks, I'm gonna get off. It was a good llama day, but I think we're getting done. Maybe this Depop thing and digital currency and all this thing is only going to be left for those of us that are still here and survive, and the rich elites aren't counting on us. Or, yeah, maybe that biblical shit had some value to it, and yeah, they're going to take away the stupid motherfuckers, and we're going to be the only ones left going, who's holding the bag? And then the rest of the other motherfuckers are just going to kind of wander off and kill themselves, I guess, commit suicide. I don't know. And the violent motherfuckers will wipe each other out in civil wars, and the rest of us will still be sitting here going, again, us. Peace out from the llama. Y'all take care. As an ending point, some of the stuff I said, I did quote books and stuff and movies. So if you want to look that stuff up, I wholeheartedly let you know. Some stuff that I quote comes off of actual Monty Python movies, because you could go look up those little clips too, like the one where in Life of Brian, where they're sitting in the at the gladiator games, and John Cleese and the other dudes and that gal, and they're talking about how new people should be, and what their group's values are and mission statement, and they basically bust out on trans people right there. And they did that how long ago? I recommend you see that clip. I should, maybe after I'm done with the video, I'll put the clip in there for everybody to go look it up. And they were calling it out a long time ago. So you can see this stuff's been going on for a long time. We're in a cycle, and I think we're at the end of that cycle, in my opinion, and we should get ready. Instead of preparing for, another blowout war, which is what they want, that's just more Depop for them. That's that civil war I was telling you about. The rest of us just need to sit back and be cool and watch these people be fools. So everybody in the end of the boomers and Gen Z, you know what I'm talking about. Let them be fools. Let them be fools. Don't get involved in this shit. As much as I want to go out in the street and get me some, don't do it. Let them kill each other off. We don't have to lift a finger and just go, well, Mr. Rich Guy, how'd that work out for you? We're still here. Now you're fucked. Peace out from the llama from the city of Mount Pleasant, Central Michigan. Y'all take care.